All rise. We will be. Please be seated.
Mr. President, we are in open session.
Thank you very much. Witness, welcome back. In a moment, Ms. Weissman will continue. Ms. Weissman, how much more time? We want you to finish today, but we want you to do it in good time for us to do some housekeeping matters. There is something Mr. Ken had put on the table for quite some time now, and private session for a minute.
We are in open session, Mr. President.
Mr. Witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were saying to us in the course of your testimony that you attended the funeral of Lucas Sang, correct?
Yes, I do.
And you said you were there briefly. Can you tell us what time, please?
I can't remember the time, but after midday.
And when you were there, was Mr. Sang, Joshua Arab Sang, who you claim was present, was he there?
He was.
You said he spoke.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who spoke before him?
He was almost the last person. There was Kipor and former MP, Sumbayo, and Peter Say.
Who spoke after him?
Yes.
Who spoke after him?
I'm saying I can remember the three people I've mentioned.
Okay, I would like you to listen to an audio, which is an audio, it's tab 27 of the main witness binder, the cross-examination binder. The audio is KEN-DL11-0013-0063, and the transcript and translation is to be found at KEN-DL11-0021-0004.
While that is being
Could you please bring it to the witness?
While that's being set up at line 23, we see the name Peter Sang. Witness, did you say Peter Sang or Peter Say?
I say Lucas.
Did you say Peter Sang?
Lucas.
Or Peter Say?
Tabitha.
Tabitha, okay.
So let us listen to timestamp 1.06 up to 1.55, which is at the first page. KEN page 0005.
Kongo mising stande ni wetukule mite ngarone tabita brani Joshua Arab Sang nemigo bote studio MB2 tab tarik taman arawet ahap agenge kinyitabil boyeng ak sisit nito genyit kastoy kyo kagene lel gora ne wone tayat ng bicho koy muj koit asobit kora ketastak tetutik kyoto kemite enkila genyit netay gorogo meje oleji ng wetukule mite kenyini gora ko genyit kora ne testa baishoni ku yewu sugul ak tugu galak uno tembe tabrani ke kushini gongol yotne namege ak sugul engorne sugul eng ora noto ne nguni ko gon sergali tetutik che isubi molmuinik engalek ap lagokab secondary school kuwi gyogas eng campaign ni gyoy chamaishek tugul ko
Mr. Witness, could you follow that?
Yes,
on the
I follow.
transcript?
I follow, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let me just read into the transcript the English translation, and you will tell me whether it's a fair translation. Quote, "Thank you very much, dear listener, wherever you are tuned in this morning. This is Joshua Arab Sang with you here in the studio on this 10th day of January 2008. This is another new year, dear listeners, which the Lord has given those of us who managed to reach this year, so that we can continue with our annual programming. First of all, I would like to tell you, wherever you are, and this is another year during which usual activities, such as school and others, will go on. As such, today we reflect back on a matter that relates to school. School in what way? School as relates to the implementation of the secondary school curriculum, as you have heard in the recent campaigns by all parties. Mr. Witness, is this accurate and a fair translation?
It is, Your Honor.
Do you confirm that he's saying the 10th day of January 2008?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also confirm he says, this is another new year, dear listeners?
I confirm that, Your Honor.
And then he also says that which the Lord has given those of us, so that we can continue with our annual programming. Isn't
Yes.
that what he said?
Yes, Your Honor.
The witness, does that not suggest to you that he's been off air and he's just come back on air in this particular broadcast?
That one I cannot.
Why otherwise, on the 10th of January 2008, would he say this is another year so we can continue our annual programming? Does that not suggest, Mr. Witness, he was off air, he just came back on?
That one I cannot confirm, Your Honor.
Confirm the date, Mr. Witness.
I confirm the date.
Still stand by your testimony that Mr. Joshua Arab Sang, at that day, as you said the funeral was at the funeral.
I can confirm that, Your Honor.
So how can he be at two places at the same time?
It is not the
Mr.
same.
Witness?
The funeral cannot take place in the morning before 10.
And you are aware that Nairobi is at least 5 hours driving, and if the weather is bad, it will be about 8. You are aware of that, aren't you?
I cannot confirm. Somebody may use even a plane. You cannot dispute that.
Well,
Which is less than an hour.
Well, I put it to you, Mr. Witness, Joshua Arab Sang was not present at this funeral. He was at this studio in Nairobi.
Witness, what do you say to that briefly?
Briefly, I say he was.
Thank you, witness. I'd like to take you to one other portion in the audio, which is at page 68. For the KEN page, it's 0072. And it starts at 01.02.03 timestamp. Are you with me?
Which one?
68.
Yes.
Are you with me?
I'm with you, Your Honor.
Starting at where it says interlude.
Ibaraswa wa meta blaba tinde Lucas kip kemboy sang nagibar tarik tip tumang sogol arawa nang gobego wadi tap chigo sirta Moses ak Josephine shaba kapche magilot manangu cheta Pamela sang kwani tap chebet kip chumba kip lagat ak cheb keme tupchok tab lile tanui nego sirta William Benjamin John nego sirta Jackson Matthews Elizabeth Chesire ak David sang amurtab Clement.
Mr. Witness, did you hear that?
I hear that.
Do you recognize the voice?
I cannot know exactly who is.
But it wasn't Mr. Sang, was it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can confirm. So I'd like to read the English translation of that passage into the record. We announce the death of athlete Lucas Kipkemboy Sang, who was killed on 29th last month, son of the late Moses and Josephine of Kapchemagilot. I think this is it. I will just let me spell it for the record. Moses, Moses, Josephine of Kapchema, Kapchema, and then Kapchemagilot, Kapchemagilot. Mr. Witness, we will not go through the whole audio. I want to put it to you that Mr. Joshua Arab Sang was not the one who announced the funeral. It was the person you just heard on the 10th and not on the 9th. Do you accept that? Now you've heard that.
First of all, death announcement can be announced more than one. Two, I may dispute even the date that he was killed, even if I am not a member of the family.
Just for the record, it was Moses Rono who announced this, who made this announcement. It's someone you're familiar with, I think, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay, and I just want to make it very clear to you as well that it is our position that on the 10th of January 2008 is when Mr. Arab Joshua Sang came on air for the first time since the ban was imposed immediately after the results were announced. Do you accept that? Now you've heard this?
I cannot accept that.
I would like, thank you, witness. I would like this audio to be tendered, please.
Prosecution.
Your Honor, I didn't hear the witness confirm that he heard this audio in the past. And I think that is the threshold that we've been using, at least to indicate a certain, at least prima facie, the authenticity of this audio. The fact that it is indeed something that was broadcasted at the date that the defense is suggesting it was. No question has been asked on that matter and no answer from the witness, so we have no evidence on the record. I object on that basis.
If I may briefly respond, we did put the date into the record and the witness did confirm it. This is an audio that directly deals with an issue that was raised by the witness. And he does, of course, recognize Mr. Sang's voice. I can ask him, did you hear it at that time, this particular announcement?
What I have just said, I didn't hear exactly this when this guy was announcing, but I say the announcement can be repeatedly by other people, it cannot be once.
Did you hear this one specifically?
If I could hear this one, I could not say it was sung while it was somebody else.
You might have heard them both. Did you hear this one?
Object. That's argumentative. We should leave the witness complete his answer.
So I didn't hear this one, but I heard Sang talking about this.
Mr. Witness, you did recall hearing an announcement about the death of Lucas Sang. That's right, is it not?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. President, on that basis, on it's the identity, concept of identity, as you put it once, we really would like this audio to be tendered.
Your Honor, the major problem with that is that even on the concept of identities, I think we should not accept it as an element of evidence. I see that Mr. Sang himself is on the chain of custody, and that is of concern to the prosecution because it is, I think it's being used, obviously, to contradict what the witness is saying regarding the date at which he would have attended this funeral. The witness is not able to state categorically, actually, whether this specific announcement, whether he heard it or not. I understand the defense counsel mentions that the date is there, the 10th, but for all we know, that could have been inserted there, or the transcript, the audio itself is not authentic. So that, in my opinion, should not sway in favor of admitting this as an element of evidence.
Mr. President, one last thing. We have an affidavit from Mr. Lamone in the core binder 28, which authenticates this particular audio. And also, the OTP has not objected to the tendering of various other audios in the past, which had Mr. Sang in chain of custody, and so we don't know why that is different now.
Actually, we have, Your Honor, to correct that. We have, in the past, objected strongly and vigorously to the ones that Mr. Sang was a part of chain of custody, and they were ramified by the chamber and not put into evidence.
They all have Mr. Joshua in there.
Enough of the argument. The document will be admitted as the next time defense exhibit, Mr. Cassia. You can argue those points when the time comes. Or the material, rather, the audio and the transcript.
Mr. President, the audio reference KEN-D11-0013-0063 public item will be attributed reference EVD-T-D11-00079, and the transcript of the audio reference KEN-D11-0021-0004 public item will be attributed reference EVD-T-D11-00080.
Mr. Witness, I would like to go into private again.
Private session. Keep an eye on the clock, Ms. Boutman.
We are in open session, Mr. President.
You remember referring to this song about the sea, right?
Your Honor, I remember, and the way I spot it, I say these songs actually, it was sung during the period of 2005, even during the Koitaliase, but it was not mentioning Ruto. It was just like a Christian song when it's sung, but it was actually a song which was actually show that the Kalenjin are in trouble. They have to be taken over to there. That's they are asking God to take them to the other side.
Mr. President, with your indulgence, and then that will be the end of my cross-examination. We've heard this song before, but we do not have a transcript or translation, but it was the song that was sung on the 25th of December 2007, Kasef M. We had this discussion last time. It is it 4 minutes? It's 4 minutes, and it's our position that it says everything that we put earlier in an earlier situation in this court. And that is what we wanted to have on record. Because there was some discussion about the year.
How many minutes you say? 4?
It's about 4 minutes, yeah.
All right, proceed.
Thank you. So we will now listen to this song as it was sung at Kasef M on the 25th of December 2007.
What about...
Just want to confirm that that is the song that you know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Na serikali kulinda wananchi wote kwa jumla, upande wa serikali na upande wa upinzani.
Mr. President, we'll take this up at another time. Mr. Witness, that was the end of my cross-examination. I thank you for your patience.
Witness, were you about to say something?
I was asked about the meaning of that song, and it was sung. She wanted to sing the song of 2007, but this song was actually sung during the Koitalen Day, and whenever, maybe they might want to say that this song is Christian song, which is okay, but this song was reflecting to give an indication to the Kalenjin community to mean that they are in trouble. They have to be taken over to another side. This inciting, though the song itself is a Christian song. That is what I could say. Whenever it was put, it was really rallying people together to say that they are in trouble. By then, Your Honor, that is the position I have over that song that I put it.
Thank you. Ms. Bausman, do you have any question arising from that answer?
Just, you confirm that this song refers to Ebola, it refers to malaria, it refers to Kenya, Somalia, AIDS. Do you confirm that?
Don't tell me about the Ebola. I don't know. I'm talking about the song Kimide Kwenet. So when you say that Ebola, how can I put it that right? I don't know. Well, I don't know what to put it to reflect what I was just singing.
Do you recall when you heard that song? Did you hear Ebola, Somalia? Did you hear these themes being sung about?
I can remind you that I heard a song, Kimibe Kweni Weba Ilandage. Take us from this side to the other.
What Ms. Bausman's asking you,
yes,
whether you agree or whether you recall whether if you heard
I cannot, yeah? If I can do it.
All right. Whether you recall hearing mention of Ebola, AIDS, Kenya, Somalia, Uganda, and so on, as part of the lyrics, as part of the words of that song. Do you recall that?
You know, this song can be sung because what I could hear, sang in several tunes. So I don't know, I can't remember that one, that tune that is put over. I can't remember that, Your Honor.
All right.
One last question, just to put more. Children, women, elders, do you recall that in this song?
Yes, I can remember, but yes, the real meaning of being in trouble, that's what I am standing to it.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Mr. President, I have one request. Given that this came out just this afternoon, I wonder if we get the proper broadcast of this particular song as it was sung at CAS FM. Could we play it after the cross of my learned colleague? That was all I would want to do.
All right, revisit it when you're ready, and then the chamber will consider your request at that point.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Witness.
Witness, we will let you off now for a weekend, and you will rejoin us on Monday at the same time. But over the weekend, do not discuss your testimony with anybody, as I have told you in the past. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We will go into closed session to usher the witness out of the courtroom.